Hello, my name is Gavin from GS The Official, and today we will be riding, enjoying the coast, loving the view, making fire, and enjoying nature. So come on along. Being is because you need the poles to go through this, which would also mean that if it was raining, I would have been doing this under the car. So as you can see, that's the inside put up. It's not really what I call a very spacious tent. It's maybe a two-man tent, but honestly, unless you throw all your stuff outside, you're not really going to get much room. Next is the covering, which I want to say is going to be easy, but I think the downside is about being on a hill. There's a lot of wind, whether you can hear that or not. There is a lot. So, yeah. So, besides the far side and this side, pin these down. That's basically it. It's not a very big tent. Like I said, it's only like a small 2-man tent. I do have another tent. The reason why I didn't bring the other tent is because I bought it with the idea of being able to store the bike inside. Right now, couldn't really bring the bike up here, so the bike has to stay down. Not complaining, it would have been nice to have been able to have the bike there and then and secure, but I'm not even going to complain because it is a very cozy little area here. Like, I was told that there is nobody else around here. I'm the only person up here, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, it is raining again. Whether it's a wee spit or not, I don't know. Thorns everywhere. I'm going to finish this off and then see about installing my tarp. On we go. So, sit rep. Tent is up, tarp is up, and I'm currently drinking a nice wee hot drink of coffee, which I'm absolutely happy to have. Haven't had coffee since this morning. Maybe like 6 or 7 o'clock this morning. Overall, up here is really beautiful. I should be able to pan the camera for you so you can actually see the view that I am actually looking at. Yes, there's a fallen bush here that's kind of blocking this half, but it's actually really nice. You can just see the mountains way over far. You can see those beautiful, nice dark clouds. And sure, it's a little bit windy. I don't know whether you can hear that. It's actually very windy. But I'm actually feeling very cozy here. Like I said, the tent's up. This is actually a nice little sheltered area already, but even then, this means I can actually properly sit here and not worry far too much about the rain. Maybe the rain comes in from this way, but hopefully it doesn't happen that often. I am more worried about the tarp at this point. mainly because if this was a little bit more narrower, or if there was another extra tree here that was closer, it wouldn't be, you know, as bad. But no, I actually don't mind it. Windy, but that's what you get whenever you camp at this time of the year. But no, overall, I'm really liking this wee spot. There's this spot, and then there's another spot just on up. And what I like about the other wee spot is it's a little bit more isolated. You know, you don't really have this big wide view as you do here. But no, I do recommend this wee spot. But in here, like, I'm really happy, really happy that I'm the only one camping today here anyway. I was told by one of the owners that there was a group that came here, I think it was yesterday or so, or a different day. So I'm kind of happy that they're not here. I'm just happy I can just relax, I can chill. I feel tempted of going for a wee ride to the nearest village. Really just to take a look around, like, 'cause I don't really come here often. This is actually a fact. Like, we are close. We're not really close, but we are close to Carrickfergus. And for the first time in my life, I was in Carrickfergus there a few weeks ago, and it was beautiful. Now, luckily enough, the weather was amazing, absolutely amazing. But I don't know, I might actually take a scenic route way home. But other than that, I do recommend you. Very windy because you are on top of the hill, but I actually enjoy it. These trees do give you some level of protection. It's just the fact that you have this beautiful scenery, but also this gap, and just the wind's coming this way. It wouldn't be as bad if the wind was coming the other direction. I mean, I only put the tent up, the tarp up like this because there's not really anywhere else I could put the tarp up. It also partly covers this bench, which is absolutely amazing. There's another bench over here. I may be using that later on whenever I decide to try and light a fire. The ground is moist. It has been giving small showers every here and there, and I know it's going to continue. I am very shocked though, because when I read up the weather, it actually said that the weather today was going to be all bad, and tomorrow there was going to be sunshine. But for the past week or two, it's kind of been like this, where it's been, you know, heavy in the morning and just mellowing out for the rest of the day. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish off my coffee, tidy up a little bit, and then possibly go for a ride. I'll see. So, I am just back for a nice wee ride. I went along the coast, and I kind of regret something. I didn't bring a camera. Now, the reason why I didn't bring a camera was because the battery was all low in them. I had my phone, but I didn't have much of a charge left on it. So maybe tomorrow, if I have time, I'm going to see about possibly going back along the coast. It was beautiful. Sadly, it was raining, but it was very beautiful. Now I am back at the campsite, and all bar one bungee cord, because I had to take it with me. There was one bungee cord there that was loose, it came off, but everything else remained the exact same, which is brilliant. Nothing was stolen, nothing was captured. I did, whenever I was coming back up, I found my knife. I didn't even know I lost my knife, but luckily enough, I brought it up and I've cleaned it. So now I think it's maybe about 3 o'clock possibly. I may actually consider putting something on for myself, and then have have lunch or have dinner later on. I think I might do that. Yeah. So, after I came back from my ride and I've just got back into my shorts, the tarp basically lifted off and flung. So I've ended up having to do a little bit of a change. I got myself a rock that's going to be keeping that side down, and I've used the other two bungee cords to connect onto this here peg. It should be alright now that it has that weight on that corner. If anything, this is actually the problematic corner, because the wind is literally coming through here and coming up here, and that is what's literally bellowing this here tarp up. So stone's there, hopefully it works. So you may be wondering why all of a sudden this tarp is here, and I will be happy to tell you. Well, you see, after a long discussion with myself on how to put this, I really wanted this tarp to be going over the tent to here. But the problem is the wind. The wind is so bad that it's literally picking up the tarp. So I had to make a sacrifice. I was not happy, so I had to sacrifice that beautiful view out here just so I can protect myself, my seat, all my wood, and some of my stuff from the rain. And it is doing a good job at the moment. Now, I had to put two big stones on this side to keep it down. This is also, in my opinion, the worst side. I don't know how that's going to end up. I do have the third stone waiting there. I am also a little bit upset because if it does rain later on and it ends up being that I have to literally cross over, like, I know it's not far, but it's the fact that I'm sitting over here, I'm having my dinner, you know, it's bedtime, and just that one little gap from this tarp to the tent, I'm going to get absolutely soaking. And to make things worse, I'm going to end up having to literally go in from this side where literally the wind and rain is coming down. I can go around the far side, but I don't know. But this is what it looks like at the moment. As you can see. So, after my little dilemma with the tarp, I decided I'm just going to sit down and have a nice cup of coffee. So take out my little gear. All my little doohickeys in it. And once again, yes, I brought these. Still not a big fan of them. I still kind of wish that the cooking set actually came with bigger plates. Like, this is nothing. Like, I've got small hands. And this just shows you, like, this is literally how small it is. It's alright for a child or for a baby. I'm not either. I may act like a child, but I'm not a child. So we won't be using them. Hopefully not. Alright. But having this lid the way it is, it's actually very well sheltered. So this time I ended up bringing this. This is my spatula, my everything, except knife and fork, which I have over there. The reason why I'm bringing this once again is because the spatula that I brought the last time was big, so to help cut down on bulkiness, because they are both very light, but because of the size and the bulkiness of them, bringing this on the motorbike was far more handier than actually bringing one of them big spatulas. I do kind of wish that I brought a big frying pan, possibly even a second cooker, so whilst I'm cooking this I can also be cooking the rice. Other than that, after I cook this and I put on the rice, this is going to get a little bit more colder, which I'm not a big fan of. So as long as I keep it nice the way it has to be, for a wee while it's not too bad. Now there's some beef here that still needs to be cooked. Let that cook off, and then I'll pour in my sauce. And just slither that all over. Now I technically don't need all of this, but I have to dump this after because I don't have a way of bringing this home at all. Because if this ends up the same way as it did when I went to Binion Bay, where I was meant to only have so much, and I only had so much capacity on the bike, I ended up brought home more than what I needed and more than what I brought, which was quite frankly the most hilarious part of it all. And there we go. Nice and simple. Nothing spectacular. Like I said, this would be perfect if I had chicken, but beef is just as nice. I finished. That was delicious. Pick this up. Oops, it is. Right, so it is about 7:30 and it is actually getting dark. It's now like early nights now, so I think it's gonna be 8 o'clock when it's really gonna be dark. So I think it's actually brilliant time to start the campfire.
Rise and shine, everyone. No. What a morning. Last night was alright. I was actually fairly comfortable. And I'm saying fairly because this pillow's a nightmare. But I actually didn't mind it. What was funny was that the wind wasn't really a problem. I don't know if you can hear it right now. It's definitely picked up. It did spat, but it wasn't that bad. I suppose I should get up and get something to eat.
The instruction manual for this tent states that it only takes about 30 minutes to put up and put down. I agree with that when you know what you're doing. Otherwise, the first time you put it up, it is going to take slightly longer. Typically for everything, basically, when you're not used to it. Break you. Go. That wind has just piled up. Last thing you ever want to do is put down a tent or put down tarp like I did yesterday in wind, pure wind, because you just can't easily set it down. Maybe the wind came after, not during or before. But not at the same time. Well, there we go. Tent done. And there you have it. An amazing road trip, simple yet amazing food, peace of quiet, and now time to take the high road home. But first, a small detour.